empezar este panel súper épico. Nada más les comentamos que vamos ya a hacer el switch al inglés y va a haber esta traducción simultánea en la pantalla para que la puedan estar siguiendo todos y todos podamos ser parte de este panel. Así que, Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd. To start, I would like to ask you, what is your favorite nickname? Nickname. Can we call you Doc? Can we call you Uncle? Or just Chris? I'd like to know if you had a good trip, if you have been here happy in Mexico, and what do you feel? The Mexican energy is like nothing. We love you, Christopher!
There's a te amo, Christopher. So I would like to start talking about your career and take a trip to the past. To one of your first role in a movie, in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's right.
You're an actor who comes from the stage. You're an actor who comes from the stage, from the theater, and then you jumped into this incredible role that was very physical and had very much your trademark. How was that transition from the stage to the screen to that movie in particular?
It seemed very easy. It was such a dramatic role, and many of the actors in the film came from the theater as well, and of course Jack Nicholson did everything he could because he knew he had a young cast, inexperienced. He did everything he could to help us along and give us confidence in what we were doing. So it was like an easy transition.
With someone like that leading, of course, right?
Chris, I need to take a second for you to see how there's people in the first row, in the second row. There's people crying in this stage. They're crying. You mean so much to them.
You're gonna make me cry.
And
Oh, thank you.
that's because you're a memorable actor. You have given us so many amazing roles. And continue to talk about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. What did that role teach you about yourself as an actor?
Oh, well, it gave me confidence that I could keep going because it was a challenge. It was a very talented cast. This great director, Milos Forman, Jack Nicholson being there, and I felt very challenged. It wasn't a walkaway, it was a challenge. So I survived it, and it gave me a lot of confidence to continue. Yes.
I know that.
Chris, for fans like us, when we think about you, it's like, what does a legend like Christopher Lloyd does in his life, in his regular life? And I know that you are a huge fan of doing gardening.
Huge fan of what?
Gardening, green with...
Gardening?
Yeah.
I'm a legendary gardener.
No, you're not. You like to do it. You like to spend your time with nature,
Yes,
with
I
flowers.
do. I really, there's something so wonderful. Watch things grow, from a little seed, and go to places where there's great foliage, where there's great trees. And I live in California, near where there are redwood forests. And sometimes I've stopped my car and walk into the forest because it's so awesome. He's enormous. And I take, I don't know how, I'm not an expert about statistics, but it takes many years to grow. And it's like being in a church, it has this, it's a spiritual kind of effect.
The things those trees must have seen, right? Like the things those trees must have seen.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
And Christopher, obviously, going back to talking about your performances, about the physical delivery of these characters, many of them are actually marked by the fact that they're flamboyant, their movements, the style, the way they speak. We can talk about, Reverend Jim Ignatowski in the comedy Taxi, obviously, but one in particular was different and in a fun and frightening way. Let's see something in the screens.
We're gonna see a video. Yeah, pictures.
There, right there.
Judge, your character in Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yes.
¿Tenemos fans de Roger Rabbit aquí?
It's fun to be evil. It's fun. It makes you feel good. When I take the little car and I put it in the dip.
Do you ever find yourself apologizing to the people you're evil to on screen?
I'm sorry.
Do you ever find yourself apologizing to the people you are evil on in your roles?
No. No. They came to the theater. They asked for it. They wanted it.
I still have nightmares with that character. Nightmares.
And I love to give it.
Thank you.
Now, besides Judge Doom, you also play other memorable villains, right? Other evil characters.
Yeah.
And about that, I wanted to know if do you work differently when approaching a villain versus when you're approaching a more lovable character?
Not really. It's the same thing. You have to do the same thing to find the reality of the character. What does the character feel about things? What is his point of view? And you dig up all those things. And it's the same. Whether they're somebody very pure, good person, and somebody like Judge Doom. It's the same process.
And before we park our time traveling journey in the 80s and 90s, let's take a leap into the future, which is the present. Yes. To talk about your most recent work.
Sorry?
To talk about your most recent work.
Yes.
You were in Nobody, you were in Hacks, you were in The Mandalorian, and very recently, you played a very special role in season 2 of Wednesday. In the show Wednesday, you played a very special role. You played Professor Orlov.
Yes.
Right? Shall we watch a short clip to remember, just very quickly?
We set it all up,
We all feel seen thanks to many of your characters.
You feel
We feel seen. I think, ¿a poco no muchos de ustedes se sienten vistos e identificados gracias a personajes de Christopher Lloyd? We feel seen. And obviously, the most hardcore fans must remember that maybe a certain uncle was already part of this whole story. Let's watch a video. Oh, okay. I think we have a problem. Give me a second. Ajá. ¿Podemos apagar las luces, producción? Ajá. Ok, ya entendí, ok. Amigos, tenemos un problema con la luz. Voy a necesitar su ayuda para una cosa. I'm gonna need their help for something. ¿Se acuerdan qué pasa en el tema de la serie original, no? ¿Lo recuerdan? Perfecto. Si ustedes me ayudan y hacemos esto junto con la música, vamos a poder restaurar la luz y que todo vuelva a la normalidad. ¿Me ayudan? No lo estoy escuchando mucho, ¿eh? ¿Cuál es la señal? La van a descubrir, así que a continuación vamos a intentar restaurar la luz con nuestros chasquidos. Shall we, DJ, spin that?
When I was a child, young, adolescent, whatever, I used to look a magazine that used to have cartoons in it, and every once in a while it'd be a Charles Adams cartoon of Uncle Fester, and I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and I just kind of loved it. There was something about Uncle Fester. He wasn't really evil, but he could be very mischievous. He could be a troublemaker and scary and all those things. But I just liked his character. And then that time passed, and many years later, I'm in Los Angeles, and I get a phone call. And somebody there asked, how would I like to be Uncle Fester in a film? I mean, unbelievable.
That's incredible. And yes, you saw Uncle Fester in a magazine. You played Uncle Fester. Then you were Professor Orlov just recently. How does it feel to play characters that span across generations?
I feel very fortunate to have the opportunity to do these characters. Orlov, I mean, I never thought I'd be a head in a machine, but I love it. And I hope I do more. This is great fun.
Incredible. And also, you play characters that have inspired other characters, like these ones over here. Or like these ones over here also. Of course,
Oh yes,
the inspiration.
yes.
How do you feel about this, like having your characters become something else?
Oh, just again, I'm very gratified to have the opportunity to do that. You know, when I was much younger, actor in my early 20s, I had no idea I'd be sitting here now talking about I was hoped I would get work, just work of some kind, and it's beyond my imagination. I'm still stunned that I got the opportunities that I did.
Stop this DeLorean and talk about him, the most epic doctor in cinema history, which is Emmett Brown.
¿Ustedes ven lo que yo? No, ¿verdad? ¿No lo están viendo? Lo van a ver. Aguántame un segundo, por favor.
¿Qué está pasando?
Por favor. Ustedes sigan.
Something is happening here.
Allá voy. Christopher, now I have a question. How did you get here? How did you get here? Was it this?
Is this your car?
Amigos, tenemos el DeLorean en CCSP México aquí en el Mazters.
So, Doc, I mean, Christopher, I'm going to call you Doc. I mean, we have to talk about Back to the Future. Some people say it's one of the greatest trilogies. I disagree. I think it is the greatest trilogy. And your character, Dr. Emmett Brown, somewhere you mentioned that it was like a combination of Albert Einstein and the maestro Leopold Stokowski. It was like a combination of the two. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, Einstein, I recently involved with a project about Einstein. He saw things that nobody had ever seen before in his head about how the universe functioned, how it operated, what made things happen on a huge cosmic scale. And he was right. It wasn't just he thought, maybe this is the way this works, the way the planets do this, and black holes and all that. He speculated about all these things, but he was right, proven right. So that would be my mentor, for Doc Brown, to have the ability to see how the world and the universe functions, to understand it. And so Leopold Stokowski, I was a great fan of classical music, and Leopold Stokowski was the conductor. And I had a record album of his way back when, and he's conducting, and his arm is lifted, holding the arm, and he's got this profile and long white hair, and then you can find it somewhere, a picture, and that was my image. And he was a genius. He was a genius with music. So that was my mentor, incredible.
I actually have a question for you regarding all your roles, because you are amazing at comedy. How did you learn to laugh at yourself? Because you need to do that. That's a hard thing to do.
I don't know. I just I like humor, and I just somehow got into it, and it's kind of a joy to be able to laugh and enjoy things that are funny. Even if I'm the one they're laughing at, doesn't matter.
clap at every single answer because it's amazing. And well, going back to obviously Back to the Future, how did, you know, one thing that always blows my mind about Doc Brown is that you talk about science, but you still make it very understandable for people. So how did you work with Robert Zemeckis to make that happen and still make it, you know, universal and understandable for everyone?
Well, it's kind of simple. Doc Brown, all the time, he is worried that he's going to destroy the space-time continuum. And if that happens, the entire universe collapses. So he's got the existence of all humanity, day and night, you know, to break the speed, you know, all the things that are in the script. If anything goes wrong, we're all gone. So he has a huge responsibility. And he's created his own dilemmas. It's not something that's been put upon him. He's gone out and done things that risk the survival of life as we know it. So he's always, his mind is always on the run. I messed this up, Marty did this, damn it, and now I've got to correct it all. So otherwise, we're done.
We can't forget the heart of this whole journey. The friendship you mentioned between Doc Emmett Brown and Marty McFly, or Calvin Klein if you're Lorraine. Two guys who seemed not to fit in the time they lived, resulted in one of, as Javi said, the best trilogy, one of the best movies in cinema history. What can you tell us about your relationship with Marty McFly in the movie?
Doc is kind of a lonely guy. He lives in his laboratory up somewhere, and Marty is fascinated by this. He's taken in by this guy who does all these strange things, and he's fascinated as a young adolescent. As when we are all young, we are awed by someone older who has a grasp of some aspect of life. And Marty loves that. And Doc appreciates his curiosity. He admires the curiosity. It's a great thing to have, is curiosity. And it's what motivates and drives Doc himself. How does this happen? How does this work? Why does that happen? You know, so and Marty has the same enthusiasm as a young man growing up, so that their personalities connect, and wonders are made.
Thank you.
We are currently living in a time of reboots, remakes in movies. We're living in a time of reboots and remakes and sequels. And you are one of the few actors who managed to keep your iconic character, Dr. Emmett Brown, for decades. You have made some appearances in commercials here and there, like these ones right here. Let's take a look.
Great start! If my calculations are correct, it is now precisely October 21st, 2015. The future has finally arrived. Morning. We're home.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it's crazy because Dr. Emmett Brown has been there with us, but you have managed to protect the integrity of the character. How do you think you were able to do that, to keep the character iconic?
Well, in part working with people on a project where they themselves respect the character. And I don't want to do something that spoils for the audience the character. I mean, this has got to be.
Which we appreciate.
Our time is almost up. Casi se nos termina el tiempo. But I have one quick question for you. I know we have very little short time, but you probably know that the World Cup is going to be here in Mexico City. The World Cup is going to be here in Mexico City. So, in your time travels, can you tell us who's going to win the cup?
World Cup, I'm sorry, I don't know.
The World Cup is this year.
Football World Cup, the soccer
Yeah.
World Cup.
What's it called?
No, it's
Soccer. Soccer, football.
Oh, stop. I haven't been following closely, but I think from the enthusiasm of this, everybody here, I kind of feel Mexico.
I love it. Lo dijo el Brown, se va a cumplir.
Lo dio su bendición. We have your blessing.
Now, in a farewell spirit, I would really like to thank you for your presence here today.
Oh, well, thank you for asking me, having
Of course,
the joy.
I believe it was a dream come true for this incredible audience.
For us as well.
I cried.
Can you tell us if new plans are coming and what message would you like to leave for this crowd today?
What message? Whoa. Never give up on the things that are most important to you. For your soul, for your future. If you believe in yourself, don't give it up. You may now and then have to compromise a little bit, but then keep going onto that path of where you want to go. And now I have to quote from Back to the Future. Your future is for you to make. Make it a great one.
Todo el ruido del universo, por favor, thank you so much. It's been an honor. So,
So you're going to be the first one to sign that sign over there. So if you mind to join me, we
you
can
could
do
give
that.
us your autograph back here and the sign of CCXP. Esta es una tradición que vamos a comenzar en esta edición de la CCXP, donde los invitados de este escenario van a pasar a firmar el logo de la CCXP, y nos parece muy apropiado que el primero en hacerlo en la historia sea el incomparable Christopher Lloyd. Por favor.